views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Bellas Fashionistas. I am your host, Flores Urbello. Thank you for joining us on this cloudy afternoon, everyone. I know it's raining. As you know, we are live from BronxNet Studios and live on BronxNet TV channel 67. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn accounts at Bellas Fashionistas and BronxNet TV. Throughout the month of February, we are conducting our first season of Bellas Fashion Series, a series highlighting Latinas who have excelled in the fashion industry. In today's program, for our second episode, we welcome a Latina who at age 11 assisted her mother choose fabrics, participate in fittings, and sketch designs for her mother's clients. Today, she is the founder, CEO, and creative director of Cenia New York, a ready-to-wear collection of day into evening dresses created to complement and flatter women of all body types. Followed by Bellas Fireside Chat, a conversation with the Vice President of the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, a nonprofit organization that promotes the growth and development of Hispanic-owned businesses. For over 30 years, the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey has been fostering mentorship programs, creating access to networks in the public and private sectors, and it has been the voice of over 120,000 Hispanic-owned businesses throughout the state of New Jersey. Could you imagine that? Today, we will learn how their woman entrepreneurship platform has been preparing Latina-owned businesses for success. It is a pleasure to welcome a Dominicana founder, CEO, and creative director of Cenia New York, a ready-to-wear collection of day into evening dresses created to complement and flatter women of all body types. Everyone, join me in welcoming Cenia Paredes. Cenia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Your story is amazing, Cenia. How did you start? I know that you told me that it was actually before, at the age of 8 to 11 or 12, you were able to create designs, you were able to sketch out. You're like a natural born fashion designer.
That's true. Drawing came natural to me. I started imagining dresses for my mom's clients since like 7, and I would just sketch them up. And I would rip off the pages from my notebooks and just sketch and sketch and sketch. We lived in the middle of nowhere, in the campo, in the countryside in the Dominican Republic. I had to walk 2 kilometers to go to the nearest school.
Wow.
And for me, the only window that I had to the outside world, to other cultures and countries, and to women being dressed elegantly was the Mexican soap operas. Wow. So I used to see these, rich women in the soap operas all dressed up, and then that would inspire me to design dresses for my mom's clients.
That is amazing. And I want to thank you for dressing me today. As
of
you know,
course.
guys, this is her clothing line, and this is a onesie, okay? Talk to us how you were able, like what happened after that? I know that you came to the U.S. at the age of 20, but what happened in between that time in your high school stages?
Okay, so I didn't even know that there was a career of being a fashion designer.
Especially in DR, right?
And especially in the countryside where I live. I had no idea. It was just a natural thing that I did. And one day, my aunt came from the capital, and she saw all my sketches. And she told me, Cenia, you're going to be a fashion designer when you grow up.
Ay, qué linda.
And then I was like, oh, what's a fashion designer? And she's like, oh, like Oscar de la Renta. And then she told me all about him, and she showed me magazines, and she's like, oh, you will sell your clothes to the stores and have your designs on the runway, and you'll be on magazines. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do when I grow up. So from that moment on, I decided I wanted to be a fashion designer. I didn't know how I was going to get there. Wow. My family was very humble. We didn't have the resources to send me to a fashion school, but I was very studious. My mom put a lot of focus on our education. Even when I started school earlier than the other children in my community, she taught me how to read at 4. They didn't accept kids until they were 7, but she bought me a little table and a little chair and brought it to the school and told them, oh, she knows how to read already. You had to accept her. And they did. So that focus on education helped me a lot. I actually got a scholarship to go to Santiago to an art school. And I just kept on preparing myself to being a fashion designer. I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to get there because my mom instilled in me that I could accomplish anything, that no dream was too big, that no goal was too big, that if I worked hard, I studied, and I prepared myself, I was going to get to wherever I wanted to. So we were lucky that my mom came to America. She married an American citizen, and she came first, and then she claimed us, me and my 2 siblings, my 2 sisters. And we came here in 1990. And as soon as I got here, I decided to go after my dream. I enrolled at a community college to learn English first. And I did a year there because I had learned some English in the art. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't know how, I wanted to go to a fashion designer. So I decided to apply at FIT, mm-hmm. and they accepted me. I sent my sketches, I sent photos of dresses that I had made, and they accepted me. And so I started to go part-time at night while I worked full-time during the day. And little by little, I did it. I graduated summa cum laude from FIT.
I know, I saw that. Congratulations.
Yes,
that's
thank
quite
you.
Impressive.
And so that's how I started.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Did you have anyone, I know that you had mentioned that you didn't know how to maneuver the system here when you arrived to the US, but did you have actually any mentors that throughout the process in school, anything like that, had guided you to any programs, any special programs throughout your accomplishing your career?
Well, so when I first came, I didn't know how I was going to be able to attend FIT or any fashion school. But my mom had a very good friend. Her name is Alma Santana, who is my client now, and she loves me to death. That she told me, oh, Cenia, you have to go to FIT. That's the school that you have to attend. And she took my sketches and she would show them to anybody that she knew. And so she has been a mentor. She's actually involved in the local politics in New Jersey. Nice. So she was a mentor. And then when I was at FIT as a student, Sully Bonelli, the Dominican designer.
Yes, I know Sully.
Yes, I reached out to him. And I told him, I want to be your intern. I want to help out. And he's like, oh, what do you know how to do? What can you do? How can you help me? So, well,
some patterns.
I was like, I could cut, I could sew, I could draw. And he gave me the opportunity. Good. And so I went to intern for him. I learned so much. And when I started my own business, he actually referred me to my first reps that helped me to get into the stores.
Which was incredible, because after you went to school, you were able to work in the industry, right? And that's when
Yes.
you worked with him, and you were able to work with renowned fashion designers. Could you tell us who that was?
Sure.
Who those?
So going to a fashion school as renowned as FIT is a great way to get into the fashion industry because they actually place you. Oh. They help you to get a job in the industry. Nice. And they help you to get internships with big companies. So I was so lucky because my dream was to meet Oscar de la Renta one day and to work for him. And so I asked FIT, that's who I want to intern with. And they were like, oh, that's a big shot. Pick all the smaller designers. And I was like, no, that's who I want. Please try. And I got the internship.
No way.
I got to intern with him and I met him and that was a dream come true. So I worked for big companies in the New York fashion industry. I worked for Warnaco, who owns the license for Calvin Klein. I worked for Phyllis Van Heusen, the ISAT division, ISAT Women, True Religion outerwear.
Nice.
Yes, so it was an amazing experience.
So tell us, I know that you were, as you were working with each and one of these brands, you always had a vision of being able to do your own fashion line. Can you tell us how you were able to start off? Because we all know it's challenging, right? Anything is challenging, right?
That's true. Well, I had this dream burning in my heart to one day have my own line. That was my ultimate goal. And then I saw that it was so hard to climb the corporate ladder in the New York fashion district, New York fashion industry. I saw that in the top positions, there was no one who looked like me. There was no person of color, no Latinas. And I knew that it was going to take me a long, long time. It was going to be very, very hard to get to the top positions. And then I said to myself, I have the skills. I design for the companies. I develop product. I have the communications with the factories. I developed relationships with the factories, the vendors, the suppliers. So I could do this on my own. The only thing I didn't have was the money, almost nothing, right? But I said I could do this on my own. And I also felt that there was a void in the market for designers who understood our body types. European designers, American designers, I felt that they didn't really have an understanding of how our bodies, curvy bodies, are fitted and are flattered. For instance,
Latina bodies are so curvaceous. I so don't have a Latina body.
You have your curves. You're skinny, small, but you're curvy though. So I went, if I went into the store to buy a dress for me, I always have to get it altered. Yeah. If it fits from the bottom, it doesn't fit from the top, and vice versa. So I felt that I could fill that void in the market, being a curvy woman myself, being Latina, and understanding bodies, because I used to do fittings with my mom, and we made dresses for women of all sizes, from 0 to 24, in all body types. So we always did things on the dresses, changed them so they could flatter that specific body type, that size. So I felt that that was my niche.
And that's how you were able to actually sell your lines to the bigger department stores, and how you were able to identify it as Cenia New York with that. Tell us what were the I know that you spoke to us about the challenges that you had faced during your starting career, but how were you able to get Cenia off the ground?
It was very hard. I started while I was working full-time for another company. Little by little, I sampled up my collection. And when I was able to have 20 pieces together, and, granted, it was very hard because I was a mom. I had, 3 children, working full-time and doing my line on the side. I was working pretty much around the clock, weekends. I used to cry sometimes because my kids would come home and they find me working, and they would be like, "Mommy, you're always working." I'm like, "Yes, it's because, I want to accomplish something for us. I want to show you guys that there's no impossibles, that we, even though we're a minority, we're not rich, that we can still have dreams, and we could have ownership of our own future." So I started, I was working full-time for another company. I was able to sell my first collection, and I sold like 8 dresses.
Nice.
It was very small. It was nothing, but I made it. I delivered them, and then it started taking off and growing little by little. By the time I knew, I was selling to about 25 stores. And then it was impossible for me to continue to work full-time because, I was like running during lunch hour for appointments, buying fabrics, doing this. It was crazy. So from there, it started to take off, and little by little, it became sustainable. And then when I won the Workshop at Macy's program, that's what catapulted me until the next level and opened so many doors for me.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And your perseverance, your passion, and the fire that you had inside was maintain you to keep on moving.
That's it.
And I know it's hard, but you made it. Tell us what happened afterwards.
Well, so I was picked up by Macy's. Imagine, I was a little girl from the countryside in the Dominican Republic, and all of a sudden, I'm selling at Macy's nationwide. It was
incredible.
Yeah. I had to pinch myself when I was chosen out of 900 companies that applied for that program. And like you said before, the reason why they picked me is because I had a new concept that no one had put into the market to make dresses that had fits for all body types. Mm-hmm. So that helped me to grow. I got into HSN, the Home Shopping Network, because I was in Macy's.
How did you just get into HSN? Like, how did you just do this?
Well, Macy's hosted an event for their previous winners of the workshop at Macy's, mm-hmm. and then they invited other big retailers to meet with us and to see if we were a good fit for them, if there was any opportunities for us. So they wanted to help us. Mm-hmm. And so from the meeting, the event, they had HSN there, and as soon as I walked in, the guy from HSN came to chat with me. And when I showed him what I did and I told him about my concept, he immediately told me, okay, email me tomorrow. I'm going to connect you with the buyer and the district divisional manager. And let's see, maybe they'll pick you. So, as soon as I got home that night, I prepared, an email with my line, my bio, my press kit, and, something that explained my concept. How was I different from everybody else out there? And I got a meeting with the buyer, and they decided to pick me up and to give me the opportunity. And so not only did I get into HSN, I also was picked up by HSC, Home Shopping Europe. And I went to Russia to sell my line on TV there, and it sold out.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow, I'm impressed with you, Cenia.
Oh.
Because I see like God's grace was with you since you were born.
That's what I believe. I believe that this is my purpose. That, in my little village, girls used to get married, or not married, get together in a relationship at 15, sometimes earlier, and they had kids, and that's what everybody in my little village did. And ever since I was like 7, I started to think to myself, no, this is not what I want for myself.
Yeah.
I want to accomplish something. I want to be a professional. I want to study. And I was so studious. So I think this was God's purpose for me.
Yeah. And God is not done with you yet. God has bigger plans for you. And I know He does. But tell us, I know that we're going to be breaking soon, but tell us how everything that you have done so far has even given you to that push. Like, what keeps you striving, right? Very quick before we go.
Well, I'm a fighter. I'm a person that, I've had many setbacks, but I'm a person that I never give up, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And that I think I'm a person of action. If I have an idea, I have to implement it immediately. I have to take steps to make that idea come to life. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what has taken me to where I am so far.
Nice. Okay. When we return, we are going to take a quick break, actually, guys. And when we return, we are going to find out how Cenia was able to get all her fashion items across the globe. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Cenia, tell us, you have your fashion line. You were able to take that literally to another country in Europe, right? And you were able to sell it off in your first shot. Now, you came up with this concept of your jean line. Can you tell us about it? Because I was actually looking at the video, which was actually a little bit fun.
Yes. So how I got there to sell to all those stores is because I was able to secure very good reps, sales rep, that rep the best stores in the United States and also international. So I have a rep in Atlanta. There's a big market center in Atlanta for brands, and there's another one in Dallas. And then the stores travel there to buy the line for the next seasons. So by being in these showrooms, it gives me a lot of credibility because these showrooms, they just don't take anyone. They have to make sure that you're going to deliver a product with quality that's going to fit, and that you are actually going to produce and sell and ship to the stores. So through relationships that I developed in the industry, I was able to get into these two showrooms, and they opened a lot of stores for me. I was able to get into a lot of stores. And my jean I created 3 years ago because I always had such a hard time finding a pair of jeans that fit me right because of the same reasons that I told you before. I'm very curvy. If it fitted from the bottom, it didn't fit from the top. And I always had that gap at the back. You know, if you sit down, people see everything. And I was like, I'm a designer. I need to create my own jean that fit us. And I saw that there were a lot of women in our community. That had that problem. Like in the hair salon, I always saw that they had the two little darts at the back waist, and I had to do that too myself. So I said, you know, this is it. I'm going to create a jean that with the two little darts, so it fits well at the waist, but I'm going to make the dart functional with zippers. That way, it's not only limited to us, to this body type, small waist, big bottom, but it could be adjustable. So women of many different body types can wear it too. And then it conceals you, it tucks you in from the side, from the tummy. It brings out your best assets, and women love it. It has been an amazing success. It sells like crazy at the stores.
That is amazing.
Yes.
A fashion line for the curvy woman. And it's not only Latina, because I know that African-American women are also very, very curvy.
Yeah, African-American. And to be honest with you, my jean is across the country. My jean sells well across the board. Alaska, Colorado, Nevada. I mean, you would not think it's, mainstream, Caucasian, African-American, Hispanic. So it's actually a product that has worked across the board.
That's awesome.
Yes, a woman puts it on, and that's just like, how come no one thought of this before? That's our first reaction.
Now, where do your lines sell aside from Macy's and from QVC and HSN? And QVC?
Well, it sells in stores across the country, all over the United States, Latin America, and Europe. You could find a list of the stores at my website. And then QVC and HSN, I'm not selling my jean there yet, but I had won the Big Find competition from QVC HSN. Back in October, they did a national open call, and for brands or inventors that have products that could appeal to their audience. And I went to pitch. I was chosen to go pitch in New York in front of 5 judges, like the big senior management.
Nice.
And at the pitching, they gave me an instant pass. It's called a gold pass to see the buyer. And so when the buyer came and saw the line and saw the jeans, she immediately loved it, and I got the order. So right now it's in production, and I will be launching on HSN in April with my jean.
Nice.
Yes.
My goodness, you're impressive, Cenia. You're so impressive.
Anyone could do it. You just have to have a passion for what you do.
Yes.
And don't ever believe that anything is impossible. I'm a living proof that everything is possible. If you see a photo of my little house in DR, how humble, we lived, and it's all about having dreams and not limiting yourself, not thinking that you cannot accomplish anything.
Did you ever limit yourself? I know that you didn't, but I'm sure that we all come across that.
Yes. Well, we're all humans. You know, I have had fear, I have had insecurities, but I feel that if you put something out there, you envision it, and you have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to take action, because if I didn't decide to go to FIT, I was never going to be able to get a job in the fashion industry in New York. So there was no way for me to get through. But I put myself in the right path. I went to the school that could give me the connections to get me into the industry. And then in the industry, I made connections. And it's always good to leave people with a good taste about you. Be courteous, be decent, have integrity, because people will remember that. When you come across them down the road, they'll remember, oh, Cenia, she's hardworking, she is professional, she has integrity. And they will help you, they'll connect you, they'll give you a hand, or they'll give you advice, and that goes a very long way. So for me, I'm the type of person that I work my butt off. Doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing. You know, when I came here, I was working in a store. I started working part-time as a cashier while I was going to school. But I worked so hard, and even though it wasn't my thing, I did it, you know, with integrity. I worked hard, and I got promoted. I got to be the store manager, and I had to manage 10 people. Nice. And because of that, I had the money to put myself to school. So whatever you do, do it with love, do it respectfully, respect other people, and it goes a long way, and it comes back to you.
Spiritual law.
Yes.
Whatever you do comes back to you.
Yes.
Now, did you wish you did anything different?
Honestly, no. I feel that everything I've done, maybe at the time, I felt like
has gotten you through.
Yeah, I feel like maybe at the time I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I started my company when the financial crisis happened. And, you know, everybody was like, you are crazy. No one's starting a company right now. But I was like, this is when I feel like I need to do it. I don't like to wait. I'm not a wait person. And I did it, but I feel like everything has happened for a reason, and it has taken me to where I am today.
Yeah. How was your, did you ever feel like throwing the towel?
Well, there's been rough times, you know. This career, this business takes a lot of money to fund it, to put it out there, to sample your collection. You know, you have to pay your rep, commission. You have to fund the production before you could even see money 2 months later. So it's been tough. You know, I had to. There was a time when I couldn't go out, do anything, go to the movies, do nothing. You know, all my friends were out there having fun, and I was working. You know, it's tough. But, you know.
Look at where you are today.
That's it. And so now we have the possibility of making millions, you know, at the global stage.
Yeah. So, Cenia, you have presented your line during New York Fashion Week.
Yes.
And thank you so much for extending the invitation to fashion designers of Latin America. But you have also showcased your line outside of that. How was it putting these fashion shows together?
It's crazy. People don't know how much goes into it. It's a lot of work. So I start sampling the line for each season 2 months or 3 months before we start showing it.
Wow.
It takes that much time because you're developing your ideas from scratch. It starts with a sketch. It starts with the idea, then the sketch. Then that idea has to come to life by, it has to be a pattern. You know, pattern has to be made. And then the sample, you pick the fabric. So it's a process. And so a collection usually has 25 to 50 pieces, and sometimes the first sample that comes out doesn't look the way you envisioned it. It has to be redone, or you have to change the fabric. Wow. So it's a long process. And then for this season specifically, I had some issues because of the situation in China with the virus that's going on. So I actually had some delays and had to make some things last minute for the show. So it was a little crazy.
Wow. So where else have you presented your line? You presented in Miami?
I presented in Miami, Art Basel, also Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week. Here in New York, I have presented, but not with Latin designers of Latin America, more for a mainstream public audience, but I was very happy to do it with Albania and do it with my Latin community.
Yeah.
You know, it feels different. It's so much warmth. I also have been invited to shows like in Oklahoma.
Wow.
They actually, and it was an amazing show, very tastefully done. So, you know, this is the thing that, Puerto Rico as well. This career, you know, it's hard work. You know, people think it's very glamorous, but it's a lot of hard work and sacrifice. But it's also so beautiful, and it gives you the opportunity to meet many people, know different cultures, and you know, they're just a source of inspiration.
You have worked with tremendous people. You have dressed celebrities like Gloria Stefan. Tell us about those experiences.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was a dream come true for me. It's just, you know, as a designer, when you see that someone wants to wear your vision, your idea, is so reassuring. It's a great feeling. And it's a dream come true as well.
Yeah. Now, your line is very unique. And I say this because I've worked in the fashion industry. I've put up fashion events. But your line is so unique in your dresses, and I love the way that your cuts go. I love the way that your dresses really do flatter the woman, the professional woman. It's not like you're wearing these short dresses how they're making them now, which doesn't really, your line reminds me of like such a couture high-end, like Carolina Herrera, like Oscar de la Renta. Why did you choose that path for your line? Like what was your vision really ultimately with having a dress line or your line?
Well, I feel that we Latinas sometimes get stigmatized and stereotyped, that we are extremely sexy and that we want to dress like a sausage, everything really, really tight and showing everything off. And I feel like that, yes, we are going to be sexy because, you know, we have curves, that is our culture, but you could do it in a tasteful manner. You could, you know, be sexy without having to be too tight or show too much. I always say, if you show one thing, don't show the other. If you're showing boobs, don't show too much legs. If you're showing the back, don't show the boobs. So that's a great rule to follow. So I want the Latina woman to, yes, represent our culture, the way we like to dress. We love colors. We love to show off our curves, but do it in a tasteful manner, ladylike, sophisticated way that elevates us.
Nice. I love that. Now, what would you recommend a young Latina that is starting, that wants to pursue your career?
Well, first to get an education in the fashion industry, because people see celebrities launching lines and influencers, they all want to start a line, but you need to know what you're doing. You need to know the technical aspect of making apparel, making clothing. There's a lot of knowledge and science behind it. So go get an education in the field, and it will also connect you in the industry. You'll get you to work in the industry and to make the right relationships.
You have come a long way. You have come an extremely long way, and it was just very joyful to read your biography, to see how much you've done. I mean, I see you out there really working, networking. You're such a humble being, and you maintain that. But I didn't know that you've been a seller all across the globe, really, internationally. What's next for you?
Well, I want, you know, the sky is the limit. I want to have my own flagship stores one day, and I want to license my brand, Cenia. I want to establish the Cenia New York line as a global, which is, it already is, but I want to make it very known worldwide. And then I want to make other products with the brand: shoes, perfume, makeup, menswear, children's wear. And that's my ultimate goal.
That is amazing. Now, in the last few of our segment, we do have the Bella Fashionistas in 7 seconds, right?
Okay.
And And are you ready? I know that you're the fashion designer, right? And you're gonna answer, well, I dress myself, but ready? So it's like a back and forth, back and back, okay? So who dresses you?
Cenia.
That was one of the silliest questions. Okay, who is your favorite fashion designer?
Oscar de la Renta.
Top female fashion designer, and why?
Carolina Herrera.
Why?
But she's a Latina. She made a world powerhouse brand. And, I also think she's a very smart woman.
Yes, yes. Fashion icon.
J-Lo.
Top shoe designers.
Jimmy Choo, because they're very comfortable.
Really, very cool.
Yes.
Top 5 dress codes, dresses or pants?
Dresses.
Blazer or no blazer?
Sometimes blazers.
Stilettos or thick heel?
Stilettos.
When you're not in work clothes, you are in?
My Cenia Convigine.
Makeup or no makeup?
At home, no makeup. Outside, always makeup.
Always makeup? Cool. Very cool. Very nice. I'll give you a round of applause. I want to thank you for joining us today. And I wish you nothing but the best and much success, because I know you're going to get far.
Thank you.
I just see it in you. It's the passion, the drive, the perseverance that you have developed since you were little. Tell us where people could contact you.
Well, through my social media, Cenia NY. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website. You can write me there. And my showroom is right here in New York City in the Fashion District. So you can make an appointment also and visit me there.
Awesome. Fantastic. I want to thank you so much for coming today. And thank you so much for inspiring us.
Oh,
I feel that fire that you are. Is that the passion fire? I feel it inside me. And I know that you will continue to succeed. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that we could bring you back again in the near future.
Thank you for having me.
We will take a quick break. When we return, we will speak to the Vice Chair of Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, who will speak to us about their Latina entrepreneurship platform. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know that brain and spinal cord tumors are the deadliest form of pediatric cancer? They can happen to anyone.
I'm not hungry. My tummy hurts.
You can help us be part of the solution.
Get in here. Hurry.
You can be part of our family.
It's okay.
Please support our mission today. Making Headway Foundation, dedicated to the care, comfort, and cure of children with brain and spinal cord tumors.
Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, a nonprofit organization that promotes the growth and development of Hispanic-owned businesses, has been fostering mentorship programs, creating access to networks in the public and private sector for businesses for success. Join me in welcoming the Vice Chair of the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey and Dominicana, Claribel Cortes. Claribel, thank you so much for joining us today, Claribel.
Thank you for having me.
This is amazing. Now, the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey is the biggest, correct?
Yes, it's the largest chamber in the state of New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we are the voice of 120,000 businesses, and we contribute over $20 billion into the economy for New Jersey.
That is incredible. Now, you are also a certified minority-owned business owner.
I am,
correct?
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank you.
to you. I know that you have an extensive background also in the media and entertainment industry. How did you land to be vice chair, Latina and vice chair, first of all?
Well, it's an interesting story. When I left the corporate world, I needed some guidance, and that's when the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce was there for me. I became a member, and then slowly but surely became a board member, and then became vice chair.
That is incredible.
Yes.
And I know that the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is known as a big familia. Because you know that Latinos,
yes.
Latinos are like a big family, and we like to hug and kiss and all that stuff. But talk to us about the programs.
So we have various programs to the next level.
And how do you guys do that?
We have a grant from Wells Fargo, and that's how we were able to launch the program and inspire multi-generational change.
Now, how many Latinas do you guys have in your program?
Right now, 35 in the Let's program, which is launching in April. But I will say the HETP program has 50 entrepreneurs, and I do have to say that the largest entrepreneur body right now are Dominicans.
No way.
Yes.
Well, you know, Dominicanos.
We're entrepreneurs at heart.
We are entrepreneurs at heart, correct. Now, tell us how many events does it that you guys have throughout the year?
I would say right now, flagship events, we have 12 events. Right now, we're going to have one in March, which is also Latina-based, which is the Modern Latina program. So we're going to do that one. Then we also have some health events. We also have restaurant events. We have our hospitality events. So everything that you want to learn, we have it under our belt. Now,
what are the benefits that, let's say, a minority-owned business that doesn't know about your services or other programs, what is the process for them to be able to sign up and engage and be part of the familia?
So the first thing I would say is attend one of our events. See if it's the right fit. I definitely say that it will be the right fit because we are a familia and we're focused on results. So once you see what we're about, we'll be able to connect you, and it's about building relationships. Mm-hmm. You go ahead, sign up with one of our members, and you become part of the familia.
Nice. Now, for the services that you guys provide, I know that there's different ways that you could be able to finagle the system. For example, I wouldn't say finagle, that's not the correct word, and I want to correct myself.
It's okay.
I know that you are able to, the connections. How do you create that connection from public and the private sector?
With what businesses?
With the businesses, correct. So what is the process for that? Because I know that you have to first be a member.
Yes.
Right? And then what is the process?
So once you become a member, you go into our membership directory, and you'll be able to get all of our events. You'll be able to attend our events either at a reduced cost or for free. Mm-hmm. And you could have many members basically at your fingertips. So I make phone calls sometimes on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Depending what I need, you just basically become part of the familia.
Now, to become a certified with the state of New Jersey, what is the process for that?
It's a long process, but I would tell you that the chamber has been very instrumental. There's a lot of context within the chamber that could basically help you navigate those waters. Mm-hmm. We do have some events that help you get certified and walk you through those processes. One of the things that I would say is very good at is also connecting with state agencies. So we have great relationships with the EDA. We have great relationships with the diversity department, which was with Hester at the state level. We are very well connected with the governor. So that being said, we're able to walk you through that process and hopefully give you less hurdles. So because we have many members that are already certified, I'm more than happy, and other members who are already certified are happy to tell you, don't do this, do this. Make sure that you have all your documents in order. So we help you navigate those waters.
Now, additionally from doing that, is there any other avenues that you are able to connect to corporate, to the
Procurement?
Not to the public, but to the private sectors. I know that UPS has been one of of your partners that has been participating in your events.
Yes.
I know that for the private is different. It's a different avenue than the public. And how do you guys go about that?
It is different, but it's also sometimes very similar. You still have to have all your documentations. You have to have all your certifications. You have to go into a system. They have a database. So we do have relationships with UPS. We have relationships with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, among many others. So it is a different process, but it's still all about documentation, making sure you're certified, making sure your financials are in order, and the chamber helps you do that as well.
I know that finances are a big issue for the Latino community, and most of the times it's because of either the credit or they don't meet certain criteria. How does the chamber assist with being able to get more funding for their businesses?
That is a great question, because my business actually just went through that right now. We're trying to grow, and getting access to capital is not the easiest thing to do. The chamber, because we have many relationships, again, it's all about return on relationships. It's ROR. We have a lot of banks that we work with, so we do have a preferred list. Even though you could go to any bank, but we have these banks that we know want to lend to Hispanic business owners. We also have the Hispanic Chamber Fund. While it's definitely different from the chamber, but it is a partnership that we have with them. So we have referrals that we could make. Also, we have seminars where we could teach you how to become what we call funding ready. So what do you need to do before you go speak to a bank? You have to have your business plan together. You have to have your financials together. You have to have your taxes. So just creating that list, so when you present to a bank, everything's in order.
Now, how many different tiers of services that you guys provide? And what do I mean by that is for the beginners, for the middle, and those that want to reach higher in multi-million-dollar contracts. How do you guys set that apart, and how do you guys help them be able to create and move forward to the expansion?
That's a great question. And in fact, I'm going to segue a little bit to use a TV term for about, how to tier that to also millionaires, because it's going to segue a little bit to what we're trying to do with Latinas. I will say that it's customized, so we have to customize it to the business, because we have everything from flower shops, we have restaurants, we have media companies such as my company, we have engineers, we have lawyers. So it's not one size fits all. And that's what I love about the chamber, that it's not a cookie cutter package. It's what are your needs? Do you need capital? Do you need a network? Do you need to connect with someone at the governor's office? We'll make sure that we get you those resources to bring you to the next level.
Now, for your women's platform, talk to us more about how you guys have been taken. 30 years.
Yes.
Right, Claribel?
Yes.
30 years. That's quite impressive for a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. But how do you guys set and prepare Latinas to the next level?
Well, the Let's program is a fairly new program, but I would say the HCTP program has already graduated many Latinas. But even before that, we were helping Latinas prosper. One of our goals right now with the Let's program is to bring Latinas to the $1 million mark. So I don't know if many of your viewers know this, but only 3% of women owners get to the $1 million mark, and women of color, Latinas being one of them, are a quarter of that.
No way.
So what do we do? So we're going to go ahead and get those resources for them, not only with the Let's program, but also with our very new Latina Leadership Circle program, which is more like a mastermind group.
Nice.
So that's another venture that we're going to have as well.
Mastermind group.
So basically, that's a good question. So mastermind group is basically, it's a group of women who are like-minded, who have a mission to become millionaires. And we're going to go ahead and meet once a month, and we're going to share ideas, share resources, and bring in experts that are also going to help us get to the next level.
Nice.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I want to give a special shout out to Carlos Medina
Yes.
and to
Luis de la Hoz.
Luis
Yes.
de la Hoz, and also to our dear friend and your husband, Francisco Cortes, that have been very instrumental to me.
Yeah, thank you.
For the past. I mean, your husband, I've met him years ago, but you guys have been instrumental. But you guys also have veteran owned business owners.
Yes, we do.
What's the percentage of that? Because I know that.
So we do have some Latino veteran within our chamber. We also do have a partnership with the Veteran Chamber of Commerce from New Jersey, but we welcome everyone. So whether you're Latino or not, you're welcome to join our chamber. If you're a veteran, even better, because we support our armed services. So the percentage of veterans, I wouldn't be able to give you that number.
Does this chamber also provide access so that your members could also have and have cross the bridge over to the New York State to have all these certifications as well?
Yeah, one of the great, there's many things great about the chamber, but I would say that we are about building partnerships. So New York City is right next door. So of course we're going to build relationships with them, with the MTA, with the Port Authority, with PSCNJ, which is also in Long Island and New Jersey. I mentioned the MTA already, but also the state of New York, which has a 30% set aside for Hispanic-owned businesses or minority-owned businesses, I should say. So yeah, we definitely, and also Pennsylvania's, it's also there in the horizon. And then we also work with the nationwide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
That is awesome. I know that you mentioned Pennsylvania, but do you guys also have access to like Philadelphia area, like southern?
Of course.
Into
we do.
Because it's only bridges that sets these states apart.
That's right, definitely, and the opportunities are there, so we're there to bridge the gap. Of course.
Yeah. Now, what are the other services? Do you guys provide any services for the youth as well? Say those up and coming Latinos or non-Latinos students that want to be able to get into.
Yes, indeed.
To the business
we definitely get notices all the time for internships that companies are having, so we pass that on to our members. So we're all about inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs.
That is fantastic. Now, tell us about your upcoming event. Is the Modern Latina, correct?
Yes, it's March 12th. So I look forward to having your guests there.
Yes.
And you too.
Yes. I'll definitely be there. I know it's a Thursday, so I'll fly over after the interview.
Definitely.
But tell us how people could contact the chamber.
They could go to our website, and which I believe is on your screen right now. So so we could go to our website. You could go to our social medias, Facebook or Instagram. We also have a Twitter account, and you could just go there and see what our events are.
So it's Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, and that's SHCCNJ.org.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you, and you guys continue to make an incredible services to our minority-owned businesses, which we also need.
Yes.
And I see you guys working so hard. I see you guys making things happen, and I just love to see the unity.
Thank you.
Because it's very transparent how you guys have that unity for each and one of your members and how you guys work together.
Indeed, it's a familia. And it's about creating multi-generational change. So that's what we're there for.
Which you guys have been doing for the past 30 years.
And we're going to continue to do it for many years to come.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Claribel, it's such a pleasure to have you. I hope that we could have you back.
Indeed.
And we could share your story.
Well, I grew up not too far away from here. I grew up in Washington Heights. So.
No way.
Yeah, so even though New Jersey is my home now, I am a native New Yorker.
Oh, look at that. Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay tuned for next week's 3rd episode of Bella's Fashion Series as we welcome a celebrity hair and makeup artist. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Bellas Fashionistas, in addition to our media partner, BronxNet TV. To watch our interviews, please do visit our websites at bellasfashionistas.com and bronxnet.org. Have a great day and see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Did you know that brain and spinal cord tumors are the deadliest form of pediatric cancer? It can happen to anyone.
I'm not hungry. My tummy hurts.
You can help us be part of the
Get
solution.
in here. Hurry.
You can be part of our family.
It's okay.
Please support our mission today. Making Headway Foundation, dedicated to the care, comfort, and cure of children with brain and spinal cord tumors.